All right, good evening. We're going to do the Porsche pile, if you will, mainline blister bust. I got these here. I got two more rows over here. They'll all do part 2 and part 3, just so I keep the videos kind of short. So we'll start off. I did something a little different this time. I went through Google Imaging and just double checked all the model year runs and marked them on the back of the cards. Obviously, some of them say on the card what year they're from, but that way I'm not relying on totally the copyright. So welcome to Diversified Diecast. I'm getting some pre-recording done on a Sunday. Trying to knock these out for you guys just so I can also get them out of storage, from being in cards, and put them in my jammer cases. And I've been wanting to check these things out of the package anyway. So we'll start off with it's a 2025 Matchbox. I'm sure you guys seen this probably in the dollar stores and what have you. It's an 85 Porsche 911 Rally. 120 out of 125 for this year. And got a little detail on the front. But what happened? What happened? I don't know. So we'll see what it looks like. I always like the style of how they used to do these rallies. Something different. Never had the opportunity to ride in any kind of Porsche, of the rally style, or even on that terrain, but I'm sure it's fun. Won't roll check any of these. I'll basically just give you all a chassis shot. I'm going to go straight to the turntable. Yeah, not Matchbox finest, but we'll get a better look here in just a second. Here's some nice detail on the roof rack. All right, like I said, not a lot to really commentate on. I wish they would have made the rear look as good as the roof rack and the front. But again, for a little over $1, really can't beat it. It's a great add to the collection. I've got a handful of the Porsche Rally style cars, and what really I like about this casting is the color. That mint green is just, it's very fitting for the Porsche 911. All right, number 2, this 75th anniversary for the Porsche 2023 run for Hot Wheels. It's part of the Hot Wheels Exotics sub-series. Car 7 out of 10. I love the 935 casting and the model. And what I loved about this car was the paint and the graphics and what have you. It was a desired one, for a peg hanger last year and even parts of this year when you find it late. And they offered this thing in several color variants throughout the past few years. I have a couple more. We'll show you all those. I did my best to kind of separate these 3 lots and mix them up, from kind of good to bad to good to bad to normal, just so we get a little variation. Flat bottom. All right, not too bad for a mainline. The paint really helps this car out. Kind of reminds me of that green Supra, that Mark IV Supra that I showed y'all earlier in the video channel. Looks good from the side. Decent wheel choice. There's not a whole lot you can detail on the back. Like I said, with this thing being a mainline, I think all the rest of the castings like this are the same way. But not bad. All right, number 3 for tonight is going to be a 2020, the Porsche 993 GT2. Another Hot Wheels Exotics. This is car 1 out of 10. Collected number 174 out of 250 for the year. Just aggravates me. Some of these you'll see that even though they're main lines, they actually have some decent detailing, either the front or the rear, or sometimes both. But in this instance, it's just going to be the front. which is fine. I mean, they didn't have to do any of it, but they gave us half of it. We'll take it. Yeah, and flat bottom. A little detailing back here on the back behind the transaxle. They laid the paint on this one pretty thick. It's got some blotchiness, kind of some. You see it back there on the. I guess they molded the fenders in the casting. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's still a Porsche, and I'm still going to love it. I'm just trying to point out, what I'm seeing, on any of them, whether they're Mainlines, a premium diecast, a mid-grade, silver series, different manufacturers, whatever. Car looks really good. Not my favorite set of wheels. I really wish they would have detailed the rear. That nice kind of bone off-white is a nice change of pace. Actually has clear lenses, not tampos in the front for the headlights. Same material as the windshield and side glass. Not bad. All right, I'm sure we've all seen this one this year. This should be a 2025. And one thing I did notice, I was doing the old Google search. It says E-case here, but everything that was showing on here was showing D-case. So maybe somebody knows to clarify for those of you who care. I really don't. I just care what year it's from. But this is the 904 Carrera GTS, Hot Wheels Race Day Sub-Series, car 3 out of 10. Totally flat bottom. Two little tailpipes sticking out the back. Again, kind of plain Jane. It's got lensed headlights, which those cars actually had, a headlight lens like that. So I guess it's pretty fitting. Number 63 on the race livery. Looks like a 7 and something on the hood. I'm not real sure what that is. It's okay. It's probably a 50-50 for me. I like the color scheme. Something different. It's not Porsche red or, something crazy. It's got something kind of subtle. It looks like they have a little error on that wheel. Look at that driver's side wheel. See the polished rim around all the wheels? On this back one, it's got a black chunk. So, like I said, you start looking at these things on the turntable and you get them out of the package. Is that an error? Maybe. Is it just a blemish? Maybe. A little bit of quality control. Just things to point out. All right, number 5. This is going to be 718 Cayman GT4. This is a 2024. These are the rest of the cars in that series. This one is a really nice model. I don't have it. And as best I know, I think I only have 2 out of this series. The other one in this series, I think, is this car right here. It's an orange 911, and it's actually in the one right here. So I just did that by chance. I didn't do it intentionally. But I noticed this one's a little heavier, so it's a double diecast variant. It's got some decent detailing on it. Car 5 out of 6 out of this set, so make it this one here. Again, not proclaimed as a Silver Series car, but It's got the Silver Series looking flag. I think the Silver Series is starting to, honestly, I think a lot of those are Walmart exclusives. Don't quote me on that. That's just what I seem to see and believe. I guess all these other cars are other store variants. This thing is nice. There's your undercarriage shot. Gloss black paint finish. Pretty good detail. Good to see that. Okay, as we saw on the car, it's got a little Bilstein shock livery on there. Really nice deep red paint. Tampo details front and rear. This is a nicer one. Really good weight to it. Very nice. Okay. Number 6, 2021. It's going to be this guy right here. 96 Porsche Carrera. Out of the Hot Wheels Dream Garage sub-series. Car 1 out of 5. Not crazy about this one just because of the wheel choice, but it does kind of fit the livery. I just hate when they put a blank white dot on there. Give the car a race number, driver number, something. Let's see what we got. Ooh, skip step there. Green looks a lot different out of that blister. Again, this is why it's good to get these things out of the cards and blisters. I got a few fingerprints on there, but this green looks totally different than it does inside the package. And obviously the light's really helping it, giving it some nice contrast. I hate that they did the Carrera decal, little emblem on the back, and didn't even bother to give it some red treatment for the taillights, paint or tampo. Same thing with the front. Like, why make a car look this good in paint and put the emblem on the front, but no lenses, no tampos, no paint, no nothing. Again, this is definitely a wheel choice don't agree with putting on the Porsche of any model, but here it is. I do love the color. I love green. Could be worse. All right, where we at? Number 7. So this one, I believe, is in that same set as this red car. Like I said, 2024. So I'll be after these other ones, especially this one, the 356 Sportster or Speedster. Um, the convertible and the hardtop coupe is. I've got another one over here in the Gulf livery. But I know this car is a double die cast because I've seen something about it on a video. But this is a 71 911. I think it's cool they actually matched the base of the car to the paint on the car. I like these wheels on any of the 911s, especially the 70s models. We'll see what we got. Car number 2 out of 6 in this series. Oh man, what a beauty. For me, probably 8 out of 10. The only thing I want to ding it on is they put actual paint on the front headlight lenses. They should have probably did a little extra detail with painting them, or just did tampos on them. But car is super nice. Got good weight, being double die cast. This color is just killer. And I love the Porsche band. You know, that was fairly popular on a lot of model variants, you know, in the mid late 70s and even as early as the 71. It's a pretty car, no doubt. And any 70s 911 is just, it's cream of the crop. I mean, it's collectible by so many means. All right, number 8. This is probably one of the most picked Porsches I think out there. Really popular because of them being a Magnus Walker. And these things seem to be everywhere. It wasn't too hard to find one of these. This is a 24. Hot Wheels of the 90s. 96 Porsche Carrera. This is car 1 out of 10 of the sub-series. And this one's got some decent detail on it. Of course. Thought it actually had lenses on the front, or tampos. But it's okay. We'll let it go. Don't get upset for stuff you can't change, right? That's what the custom aftermarket world's for. You just gotta... Oh. Starting to think this one may have been a... It is a slight error. Look, I found one of the other ones like this. They put the blister on upside down. Again, I don't really care. This happens all the time. But that's supposed to be on the bottom from what I've gathered. I could be wrong. A couple more like that. No. They're supposed to be the other way. Can't beat it for a buck. That's about all I can say. At least I got the motor cover vents on this one right. I noticed that we're going through all those VWs in that 5-part series, and I don't think any single one of those Jadas has a louvered motor cover. That definitely wouldn't have worked on a air-cooled engine. But this one's not too bad. I think what really kind of sells this thing is the wheels. They have the anodized blue color, and this is a very desirable car. You know, especially this Porsche from the 90s. This was just, yeah, that's where it was. Way beyond the Boxster. All right, where are we at? Number 9. This one's going to sting a little bit because I like all the Gulf stuff, and it's really collectible for a lot of people. But again, cards no more here on Diversified Diecast. This is a 356 Outlaw Speedster. I think this is a 21 Hot Wheels Speed Graphics, car 7 out of 10, and it's 171, 250 for the year in the Gulf livery. Gulf wool, that is. Such a teeny tiny casting. But man, these things are, they're little dolls, man. Yeah, for those of you who don't know what this thing sounds like on the racetrack, it's something like, it's just, it's violent. I mean, the car looks cute and looks kind of like a sporterized Volkswagen. But in the Outlaw setup, this thing is made to drive, made to corner, made to handle, and put you through your paces. I love it. And this one being in a Gulf livery is just a nice treat. All right, number 10. This thing was all over the pegs in 24 and even this year. In case Hot Wheels Turbo, 5 out of 5 out of this sub series, 911 Rally. This was last year's color variant, more or less, of this one, which is the dud. It is not the super, but still nice. I really enjoy these things where they're set up. It's just something different. You know, anybody can have a Porsche they can take on the streets, but this thing you get on off pavement and you just throw her in second, third, and just let her eat, you know. So, the white and blue on this one looks really good too. It's a good looking car. Nice color variation by Hot Wheels. Is that thing split? Or two? Don't know what happened there. Not much to say. I do like the white wheels. A lot of good contrast on this one. Again, needs a little bit of enlightenment on the back, but the front's really nice. So if you did have it in display, this one definitely needs to be looking out, you know, facing the front. Again, not bad for $1. All right. Anniversary car. This is a 5 out of 6 out of that series. Cayman S, not the most desirable, but if you actually do some research on this car, um, under the right hands and with the right person, it can be very capable. I don't have any other cars from this set except this car, and it's actually up for trade sale. I was going to keep it, but I'm trying to really be mindful about the mainlines I keep. So, purple's a good bonus. The gold on here should look really good on the camera. Again, these things are disguised in these blisters. You know, they really hide the potential. You know, even for some of these nicer mainlines. Like I said, these are normally like $2, just because, you know, you're basically paying for the anniversary and the card art, if you will. Collectability, right? I think it's shiny. Purple looks good. The gold's a nice treatment, you know, with the decals and the 57th anniversary on here. It's not my favorite, but it's definitely one of the nice ones out of the lot in this video. All right, number 12. I love the Matchbox cars just in general, especially on the Porsches because they're always detailed. And see, there you go. Look, front, rear, got some nice wheels. GT3 casting is very, very desirable. This one is a 24, I believe. Yeah. And this is car 73 out of 100. I like this kind of pale bone white too. This looks really good on any Porsche. Doesn't matter what year model it is or what model variant. Anytime I see a Matchbox Porsche, I don't care. If I don't have it, I get it because I know I'm going to love it. I mean, I buy Hot Wheels regardless too, but I search after these more because they're just a little bit nicer, in my opinion. And again, you know, casted mirrors, not always a full requirement by Hot Wheels, but Matchbox, they'll do it. Oh yeah, feel like I'm looking at one on turntable, River Oaks by the Galleria. That not bad. Matchbox, not bad. This is the first Matchbox that we've opened on these Porsches tonight, besides the Rally. And surprisingly, like I said, there's no tampos on the taillights of that car. The first one we opened, the mint green one. But I'll be willing to bet that every other Matchbox we open, out of these other 25 or 30 remaining, I think there's like 37 or 8 total in these 3 different groups. They're all going to have nice detailing front and rear. Again, with the exception of that Rally mint color one. Okay, the last Mohican. When I was looking this one up, believe it or not, I know the internet pricing is all over the place, and the best thing to judge is just the going market and sold on eBay, if you will. But actually, this thing, a lot of people have this thing listed for $30 or $40, even as much as $50. It's a 2021 K case, Hot Wheel Exotics 993 GT2. Super sweet. I love the look of these cars. Car 1 out of 10, 174 for the year. Anyway, back to the pricing thing. The cheapest one I saw listed on the internet when I was looking up just to verify the model year run of this thing was probably 15 or 20 bucks. Again, this thing in the real world on Facebook, it probably trades for $3 to $5. Maybe not. Maybe I scored something that's a Air $10 mainline. I don't know. I don't care. It's going to go in with all the rest of the Lucy's so they can be enjoyed and played with and click clacked and looked over and all that good stuff. Flat bottom. This is a similar car in casting to this one, right? Doesn't actually say what's on the bottom of that car. I think that's a 9932. Very nice. Anyway, last one of this group. I felt this would be a good one to end on, just because the red was really so brilliant. The that other red one we looked at earlier tonight is really a nicer car overall, but the paint isn't as brilliant and as bright as this one here. And the gold really kind of helps this thing, draw in some good contrast and pick up some good light. But lensed headlights on this one, nothing on the back. Kind of a disappointment there. But again, you just stockpile it away whenever you get bored and you start wanting to do wheel swaps and do a little touch-up paint. You can put some black and darker red on the back of this thing to give it some accent and highlight, paint the tailpipes and whatnot. But I like it. Let me pause the video and I'll do a close-up pan. I'll get these things kind of lined up and we'll just kind of do a recap of the ones we looked over tonight, just so I can get a closing view. Kind of feel like I'm at a point where I'll start getting a garage mat or a parking lot mat, just so we can get a little better display than what's on this P-Lam desktop of mine. Double die cast, this one here, the red one. Same thing for this orange one here. Matchbox white one. This is a really nice car. All right, well, that's it for tonight. We'll close just under 30 minutes. I'll work on bagging these up and getting the other ones ready. Again, thanks for watching. I'm trying to do a little pre-recording on Sunday while I have some time so I can do some uploads throughout the week. Try to get ahead on some of the timelines. But again, thank you again for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please hit that button. Let all your friends know, anyone who's associated with diecast and loves it. Help the channel grow, give them some good content and insight, and some decent reviews. Thank you again. Good night.